This is the January meeting of the Citizens Communication Council. I'm Art Hartel, who is chairman. The first order of business this evening is for the reorganization for nomination of chair and vice chair. Joe?
So I'd like to nominate Art Hartel as chair. Do I hear? Aye?
All in favor?
Okay.
Thank you very much. And vice chair?
Bruce Wilson as vice chair.
All in favor?
Aye.
So be it. Are there any announcements? Okay. George, report from
Hi, how are you?
Channel 21. This is
Right, I'm
Strimmel.
George Drimmel from Radnor Studio 21, here again to talk about what we've been doing. And of course, we've been doing quite a bit, and we've gotten involved with some meetings that normally would be in this room, but can't because of conflicts, so many meetings going on. Then what we've done is we've done the Charter Review Committee, either in our own studio or live from the library, because we do have a connection to the library. So we are able to present those directly to the viewing audience, and then at the same time make DVDs and turn those over to the Township so they can run the repeats and what have you. Otherwise, we're doing a lot of programs. What more can I say? I mean, we're at the point of doing maybe 11, 12 individually new programs every week, and gaining other programs as either on repeat or bringing in from other places. So we are quite busy. And that basically is what I have to report. We have started a new year, and we are now even further staffed, and we thank some people who helped us last year, and we hope people will help us this coming year as we build further, but we are going forward.
Okay. Does anyone have any questions? I have a couple, but does anyone have any questions? George, let me talk about how far, or if you could talk about how far the signal runs on Comcast. Where does our signal go?
In Comcast, our signal goes within the households here in Radnor Township and Radnor Township alone. Because of the original structure of Comcast and other cable companies, they built within the municipalities in which they had franchises, and it ended at the border. I can go on then tell you a bit about...
No, that's all right.
Okay. Going
and
to the next
Verizon,
step.
where does...
Yes, Verizon. Verizon, because of the configuration with the operating centers that they have, and I'm sure the Verizon representative, who I presume you are, and we welcome you, the Verizon goes out of their telephone configurations, which allow for greater dissemination, and at this moment disseminate from City Ave all the way up through and past Malvern, so all of the main line, and then up to Collegeville, Phoenixville, so covering parts of 3 counties and a lot of Delaware County, but not all. In no case are we covering all of Delaware County. Most of our coverage is this side of the Blue Route, except where it's along the main line. So Haverford, Marple, et cetera, we have there.
Okay.
So it's taken our configuration up. I don't know the exact number of households, nor am I likely ever to find out the exact number of households either served by Comcast or by Verizon, but it has been a substantial increase.
Okay, good. Thank you. Does anyone else have any questions? Sure.
I wanted to bring up one thing, and
Yes.
when the Verizon representative, and well, I'll do one thing with Comcast first. If you're a Comcast subscriber, and I happen to be, you might be receiving a letter in the mail, and I'm sure that Jen's going to talk a bit more about this, which means that basically the analog service is being turned over into a digital service, and digital boxes will be required for all, or especially for some of the older television sets. Everyone will have to have that. They are being distributed, and again, I don't mean to tell you a story here, but they will be given to a subscriber without further charge. So we will, I don't know when the switch occurs. The deadline on the letter is March 18th, I believe. So
Okay,
that's
perhaps when the Comcast rep
yeah,
gets
they could tell
here.
the story better than I can.
Yeah, I think so.
I'm only a subscriber.
And any other questions?
Yes, on Verizon, and maybe this is something we can address and I bring to your attention. At home, I'm both a Comcast and Verizon subscriber. At home, I can go online and get an upgraded throughput on the internet service of 150 down and 35 up, I believe it is. That is not available to all operations that Verizon provides in the township. For instance, at Radnor Studio 21, we can't get that. I think that's something that we might discuss in your discussions with Verizon.
Unfortunately, that's outside of the jurisdiction of this council on what they do on broadband.
Okay,
But
that may be.
But it doesn't prevent you from contacting Verizon and using your persuasive charms to.
And believe me, I will do that this very day.
Thank you, George.
And I
What
simply
were your
speak,
numbers there again?
What was that?
150 up,
150 down,
150 down.
35 up, I think is the
35 up.
max. Mhm. I can have that at home. I'd like to have it.
Okay, I would suggest that you
I will
contact
pursue that. I will pursue that.
Verizon. Okay.
And that wasn't an official, that was just
we
purely as a
appre-
concerned citizen.
We appreciate your concern. Thanks.
Okay, thank you very much.
No other questions. Good.
Anybody
Okay.
else? Thanks.
Report from Comcast? Since you're kind of new to the game, would you restate your name, rank, and serial number?
Indeed, I'm Jen Boyette. I'm Government Affairs Manager at Comcast, so I cover Chester County, Delaware County, and Newcastle County, Delaware, and I work with Kevin Broadhurst, if you guys are familiar with him, which you should be. Nothing really new to report from Comcast. The digital conversion that George was talking about has been going on for years. That was a Federal Communications Commission thing where everybody switched from analog to digital across the country, and we're just making sure, we're just doing towns at a time, so apparently it's rolling through Radnor. As George said, it really shouldn't affect too many people. A lot of people have switched over already just because of the higher grade televisions where it's necessary to have a digital box to be able to get the signal, HD or whatnot, or if there's DVR, those all require digital boxes, so most people probably already had it. But if there are senior citizens or places with older boxes or people who don't watch a lot of TV, they might all of a sudden notice that they're not getting a signal, and that's because you can't just plug right into the wall anymore. You need that converter box to convert the signal. So anybody, if you run into customers or people who are concerned about that, you can have them call me directly, or they can call 1-800-COMCAST, and we can switch the boxes out. It's just, again, it's a different kind of box. And I'm surprised. You have current boxes, correct, at Radnor? Not at the studio at all? You were plugged into the wall? Okay. Okay, that's why I was wondering why all of a sudden they didn't work, because I think anybody with a box in general should get a signal, but if you're plugged right into the wall, that's where they're going to start to have problems.
How are you going to distribute those boxes?
We have no way of finding those people, so they would have to all of a sudden find out, hey, I'm not getting a signal, and call in.
But
and,
if they call, say they get this letter.
Right.
And they call Comcast, how will they get the box?
Right, they would have to go to their local payment center and pick one up.
Which is?
Is
that the one in Aston?
It's in Aston, and then there's one in Downingtown.
It's not really very convenient to Radnor, in either case.
Right. There's one in Phoenixville as well.
Couldn't they stop at Upper Darby, too?
Oh. Or we can ship it, apparently. Sorry. Right. There you go. There you go. But you do have to call in to request that you need it. You can pick it up if you like. Most people pick them up. And that must be new. I didn't get a copy of your version of the letter. Thank you, George.
These are the small boxes, right?
Right. They can be small. Some of them are bigger depending on what you want to do with it. If you want DVR or HD, some of those boxes are bigger. But again, if you just want the simple converter box, it's about the size of like a CD case, maybe. Right.
Question you might not know. Have the head ends or the broadcasters pretty much universally switched from analog to digital as was mandated, I guess, a couple of years ago?
Oh, yes, I can't think of anybody. It's that maybe local leased access here and there who might not have the equipment to do it, but NBC, ABC, anybody like that has already switched over. We were required to, I think, by 2009, maybe it was
Something like
February
that,
17,
yeah,
2009.
Then they had delays.
Right, they
and
pushed
I
it back
just
a few
was
times.
curious if that had been completed.
It is, yes.
Okay, thank you.
If you would just wait there a moment.
Sure.
Jim, you had a couple of inquiries that you wanted to raise specifically? Did Jim?
Yeah.
Okay.
He talked to me earlier. He might have gotten me directly. Okay.
But just before you go, Joan, and I'll give you all the time you want. We are very concerned, one of our continuing concerns is service.
Okay.
And we've got a couple of service questions that came in. Before Verizon came on the scene and we had two providers, we were getting service reports every month as to the number of service calls you had and how quickly your response was so that we could monitor it. We will, and we'll announce it a little bit later in this meeting, go to a quarterly meeting schedule.
Okay.
I would like something from Comcast in terms of a report that will keep us abreast of what the service has been, the number of service calls, the response time, because that's in both, I will say the same thing to our Verizon representative when she gets there. But it's in the franchise agreements, and that's one of the things that we need to stay on top of. So if
Because you haven't been getting one?
we have not been
Okay.
getting one.
Okay.
So if you could arrange for it in some simplified form, we would appreciate it. Bruce, any comment? No? Okay. Joan, it's all yours.
Thank you. We are experiencing an issue in our school, in Radnor Township School District, with the broadcast of our meetings, our school board meetings and committee meetings over Comcast. This has been going on since September, and we've contacted Comcast. We installed new equipment.
Okay.
And since that time, we've experienced difficulty. Comcast representative has been out probably 2 or 3 times to assist and is pointing fingers at the vendor. The issue with that is that we are not, the problem has to do with sound. There's a huge hum with the sound. We are not experiencing that with our Verizon. We are on Comcast. So if you can help facilitate getting someone out to take a look at this for us and helping us resolve it, if there's something that we need to do. I did leave a voicemail for Kevin Broadhurst about a week ago and have not heard back.
Okay. Kevin's in Europe, but I'll give you my card.
Oh, well, that would be
That'll
the
do
reason.
it. That'll do it. He's in Europe for a few
That would be the
weeks.
reason. But we're not, the person tech has come out several times, looked at our equipment, keeps telling us we have to do some research and get back to you. They've been out several times, and we really do need to get this resolved. And it seems like the issue has to do with Comcast since we're not experiencing it on Verizon.
Right. It could be something with our signal at the head end, so I'll give you my card
possible.
at the end, or next or at the end of the night, and just shoot me an email tomorrow. Let me know the address of where it is, and
Perfect.
I'll take care of that for you.
Ms.
Great.
Boyette,
Thank you.
just for your background in this township,
Sure.
the local channels, the 3 local channels have separate feeds to Verizon and to Comcast. So this would appear to be a Comcast network issue rather than an equipment issue,
Okay.
since it's not on Verizon.
Okay. We can talk about that tomorrow, and you can give me the details so that we can figure it out.
Great, thank
Okay.
you.
Excellent. And I guess the only other thing we have is just new products. I believe we approached the township earlier last year. We have a new home security product that's starting to snowball a little bit. It's a great product. You've probably seen the commercials. But there's a video camera system that links into your computer and your TV, and you can hook it up to your iPhone, so you can put cameras throughout your house, and you can work the electricity, and you can check on your phone throughout the day to see if you let the dog out or somebody's breaking in, or you can turn a light on or off in your living room if you want to from afar. So it's a really good product. So you might start getting phone calls, questions about that. So again, you can refer them to me or to 1-800-COMCAST if you run into any questions with people wanting more details or issues with it. Okay?
With each of those appliances or things that work, do you have to have like a separate plug and a transmitter or
You do. It's a whole kit that comes. It's different cameras that you can hook into a monitor that's a master monitor that you can put through your house wherever you like. But yeah, it's
and then that
it's
hooks into
detailed.
the internet?
Right,
I
right.
see.
And then you sync it to your
each one of
phone.
the lights that turns on and off or thermostat has something that hooks in as well.
Right, there's wires and things, so yeah.
Yeah, I thought, gee, this is kind of magic, yeah. Okay.
Yes.
Thank you.
Sure.
I do have one, sorry, I do have one question related. This is probably a borderline question. So Comcast customers have an ability to get wireless hotspots, hit wireless hotspots
Yes.
throughout the community, and they seem to be just like kind of thrown out there. I assume it's based upon where you have existing capability.
Right.
But I guess the question is, do we have any, or can we discuss what you might do in the Wayne area, particularly with like our location of Channel 21 being a possibility if we were able to work something out that you could use that site because of its location to really provide a wide area access there for,
Sure, I can look into it for you. Mm-hmm.
because and I have no idea what you have in Wayne now, but.
I personally don't either, which is why I'd have to look into
Right.
it. But yeah, if you
But it's just,
bring it up, we
it's a
can
perfect
research.
location as far as centrally located, so,
Okay, sure,
thanks.
Good.
sure.
Okay. Any other questions? Thank you very much.
Okay, thanks.
Verizon?
Good evening. I'm Gwen Kogan with Verizon, and I know you've had several different people before you. I'm actually a 23-year veteran of the cable industry. I've been working for Verizon for about 7. And actually, Comcast and Verizon recently are partnering on some different things, so our companies actually work together fairly well nowadays. I'm basically here just to introduce myself and find out what information you all would like to find out from Verizon. I'm just getting my arms around. There's 2 of us that are handling 730 franchises in 3 states, so we have a big task ahead of us. We primarily had New Jersey and Delaware and recently received Pennsylvania added to our workload. So we're trying to get familiar with it and, as we can, make some of the meetings like this one. So basically here just to introduce myself, and I already have a couple things that you guys have mentioned and written down, and I'll leave you my card also before I leave the day, but anything else that I can address, I'll be glad to do so.
Good. All right, so are you a resident in the local area someplace, or are you?
I work out of the corporate office in Basking Ridge, New Jersey.
Okay.
I live a little bit south of there. It's about an hour, 15 minutes from here.
Which is a little closer than your
A little closer
predecessor
than-
who was in Chicago.
That's correct. Although my boss is still there, but yes.
Okay, good. You heard the request for information on a quarterly basis
Sure.
on your service calls.
Mm-hmm.
So make note that I've actually asked you for it. but
Okay.
You didn't get it
And I will
by
check the franchise.
osmosis.
Right. I will check the franchise, and obviously you said it was in there, so I assume that it probably is. Obviously, with the volume of franchises I have, I cannot any longer remember exactly what's in each one.
We understand that. But if you could provide that on a quarterly basis, we would appreciate it.
Okay?
Do we have any other questions, comments?
One, I just usually make it from Somerville to Radnor in an hour, so maybe I can give you some tips.
Okay. Well, I was going to say, I live near Princeton, so same neck of the woods, so,
That's a chip shot.
Yeah,
yeah, not far from where you're talking about at all.
okay.
Let me leave you my cards, if I can do that right
Please.
now, so
I
that
would
way you'll have
appreciate
them. And I do apologize, but my title, my phone numbers, everything have changed in the last 2 months, so there's some scratches out on them, and I'll get new cards shortly, and I'll share them with you at that point.
That'd be wonderful. Thank you very much. Okay. Old business. The one thing that we have been working on over the, it seems, past millennium has been the renewal of the Comcast franchise agreement. We still have not completed that. Kevin, you say, is out of the country?
He is until January 31st.
Okay, that's a good excuse. we'll contact him when he gets back, but if you have a chance to talk to him or anybody else in the chain of command, we would certainly like to move that process on. We are operating under the old franchise agreement, which is okay, and you guys have been abiding by it, which we appreciate. But if we're going to do a franchise, new franchise agreement, we need to push on, and there's only a few issues that remain. So if you could bring it to Kevin or whoever else in the
Ralph.
chain. Ralph.
I've been talking with Ralph as well.
Right, that would be fine. Thank you. New business, we're going to a quarterly meeting schedule. And the dates are on the second sheet that you have. So unless there are some items that come up which require us to meet in between those dates, and if so, we will, contact everybody and have a special meeting, an additional meeting. We will meet the next time in April, July and October. So pending response from Comcast, this will be the meeting schedule, and if everything is moving along wonderfully with Comcast, then we should have no reason to have additional meetings. Any comments? Okay. Since we have no public here, there's no public participation, is there anything else that anybody wants to bring up for the benefit of the community? Then we'll take a motion for adjournment.
I move to adjourn.
So be it.